Hi everyone, today's talk is about making an impact from India to the rest of the world by building and nurturing women InfoSec communities. We all know that women are underrepresented in the InfoSec sector. India is one of the most diverse and fastest growing countries in the world. And due to fast growth, women often are left behind. The world average female literacy rate is 79.7%, while in India, the average rate is 65.46%, which is by Women's Web. Now, when the percent is so low, the women who enter the technology workforce is even lesser. And cybersecurity is further less. In India, a million engineers graduate a year, but there are only 10% of women in that. Now, out of the 10%, we will find only 0.5% in InfoSec. That's how the stats are more or less. The ratio in the cybersecurity team is really dim, and that is widely recognized by all of us. Now, I have a question for women in the audience. Have you ever felt that you are one among 1,000 people? Have you ever felt you needed a mentor and couldn't find one? I felt that. In the beginning, I couldn't find a mentor who can help me guide through this industry. Have you ever felt hesitant to talk to people or know how to or understand how your approach would be taken up? I have felt that a lot of times, and sometimes I don't speak at all. Now, we all know the field lack women role models. How many InfoSec champions are there in the industry, especially when we talk about India? Very handful of them. There are so many unconscious bias we all have, whether I am adequate for this industry or whether I'm part of IT or not, whether I belong to this portion of industry or not, whether I'll be able to sail through this or not, if I'll choose something new in this, whether I'll be able to do it or not. We all have those unconscious biases, and we're all hesitant in speaking up with the people who are not like us. We always look for a space to speak without feeling being judged. I do that. And especially when I started speaking, I was looking for people who were like, oh, okay, this is the person I know. I should be just standing with that person, sitting with that person. And when I say we as a women, we have a lot of social commitments. We all want to be 10 on 10. Everything is well at home, husband to be in the best place, child to have the best life, while all of this leaves a very less space for ourselves to think about our own aspirations. Weekdays are hectic, and weekends are even more hectic to think about anything else other than the family. Now, according to one of the survey, women working in cybersecurity field accounts for about a quarter, which is 24% of overall workforce. This is a significant higher finding from 2017 when it was only 11%. But now, when we say we have a long way to go, I also felt that we need more women in this area, and especially when we say InfoSec, information security, and which is what motivated me to take up InfoSec Girls as a community and take it forward. Now, men in the audience, I have a question for you. Do you want to support or bring more women in cybersecurity and your area of work? Because cybersecurity is so wide. So I have talked about bringing diversity and inclusion in one of my talk at Global AppSec DC, which was on diversity and inclusion. So you can take a look at that. So now when I say what this talk is about InfoSec Girls, the community we have built in India, what the community means to all of us, how we started the community, what are the challenges that we faced along the journey, how we did overcome all those challenges, what are the achievements that we have, and what we have planned for the future. Along the journey of the presentation, I'll also share the framework on how to start a community. What all things can be done to build a community? What are the road blockers or speed breakers that we had, and how we removed them, or how we actually went past by them? We've also been giving trainings in multiple platforms. We've shared one training at Black Hat USA, and we'll be sharing here as well, just so that you can take benefited out of it. Now, before we deep dive into the presentation, I would like to introduce myself. I am Vandana Verma Sehgal. My day job is one of the multinational companies, and I am president for InfoSec Girls. Apart from that, I root for pro bono work, wherein I am one of the global board of directors for Open Web Application Security Project, which is OWASP. And I've also keynoted at multiple places. I really like reading books, training people, and that's when I was able to train over 4,000 people in this particular space, which contains students, women, and kids. I was trying to portray or find a nice way to showcase what InfoSec Girls is doing. And this one GIF does the job brilliantly than anything else. What InfoSec Girls actually is. Now, if I have to describe InfoSec Girls, I would say that it's a community which is always working hard to support, encourage, and help InfoSec enthusiasts in all possible ways. The core aim of InfoSec Girls is to encourage women professionals and students to participate in the InfoSec industry and stay in this field, because we know that people come in the industry and then leave the space. And especially if I talk about women, they tend to join the industry and leave it or not join at all. So now our core aim is to promote cybersecurity and help them stay in the field. In a short span of 4 years, since its inception, we've been able to leverage our own community, and together we have been providing one-on-one mentoring to more than 200 women in the industry. There have been multiple career counseling sessions that has resulted in more than 20 final job offers. We have built a strong, thriving community of speakers. More than a dozen of them have gone out and spoken at global conferences, including me. Now, let me tell you a bit about how we all started. So InfoSec Girls started in 2014. The community went inactive for some time, but we rejuvenated back the community in 2017. Since then, every year, we're trying to outgrow from the past year. We started with the Bangalore chapter, as there were multiple questions in mind that how many participants and speakers would come, whether we'll be able to take it forward or not. How would we manage this with our full-time job that we have? Some of us, including myself, had more than a fair share of family responsibility, including infants. I have a 5-year-old. So hence we started with humble goals to begin with, starting with smaller chapters, then increasing in the different parts of India. Now we have over 15 chapters around the world, and making sure we are covering multiple cities in India. Now, everything was not a rosy picture. We did have our struggles in the beginning. Big challenges with any community is when it starts, we don't know where it will go. Unlike in exams, we know that either we are going to pass or we are going to fail. But with the communities, you don't know. You feel better if there's anything which is better than yesterday. But how to keep it going for a longer run is a bigger challenge. So now let me tell you about what challenges we faced. First thing was sparking initial interest. That was a big challenge. Letting them know, okay, there is something that exists and we can actually make it big. We can be part of this bigger industry and an interesting industry. At the same time, balancing the family with kids, with taking our time leave from the family time and coming out at a space and meeting with other people. And especially when I say weekdays are hectic and weekends are super hectic. You have so many responsibilities to take care of. Another thing was there were very less women who were coming out, who were knowing about it. So the concern was hesitation in joining the community named InfoSec Girls, lack of motivation in joining the meetups. Like sometimes we join the gym, but we don't go regularly. So I hope we all can relate to it. That's what happens with us. So we have to motivate ourselves to join that. Now, another concern was like people had questioned, not sure what the community has to offer. Mindset for by listening the name itself. Do they preach feminism? Do I really want to join women-centric community? Some people did criticize us, but we welcome them with a kindness. Now, when we started hosting our meetups in person, the first thing was to reach out to the venue providers or the organizations which can help us in hosting the meetups, telling the venue providers or companies that our goal, this is what we want to do, and why we are hosting such meetups. Another thing was to find out the venue, which can be accessible for the people coming for the meetups from different parts of the city, so that it can be accessible for all of them. It can be a center. There were some venues who did ask us to pay, wherein when we started off, we did not have the funding to pay for the venues. Finding out the venue, reaching out to the venue provider, and hosting the regular meetups with them, then also making sure that we have a backup venue available in case something happens at the last minute. So all of these were the biggest concerns. Then there were so many issues in finding the speakers. There were so many preconceived notions which we all have, and especially women have. I would like to mention that this disparity roots back to the school, wherein I often heard that kitchen is for women and tech is for men. It is nothing to do with that. So that's when we thought of removing all those unconscious biases, preconceived notions that yes, we all can do it. A lack of awareness about this field, we started educating the speakers, saying that, okay, if you are not confident, if you're not sure how the audience would be handling, we will help you out. We all have that notion, whether when I speak at any meetup, if I would be wooed or bullied, how will I be able to speak up in front of so many people? So that's what was a big concern. We had a low participation due to less outreach and less people knowing about the community. We did not realize that to spread awareness via multiple mediums to reach the audience is important, which led to the community low turnout. In the beginning, it was very difficult to bring in more participants. We had 3 to 4 participants only, but we never lost hope. We made sure that we are going to try. We were not relying on the social media for sharing the word. We revived, but we were worried how to stop this happening again. Hence, the sustainability plan had to be there. When I talk about sustainability, 2 founders started the InfoSec Girls. They tried hosting meetups, did a few things. They had an idea, but could not take it forward due to personal reasons, personal or professional commitments. At some point, it got stopped. We rejuvenated it. We revived it. But we were not sure that how we can keep it running. We were worried how to stop that happening again. Hence, the sustainability plan had to be there. So to keep the cause running with the same motivation was another challenge. Now, we did receive acceptance from the community after a while. People started showing interest in the cause and wanted to know InfoSec Girls and support it. As a result, companies were ready to provide venues and other support like sponsorships. Now we do have 4 to 5 venues available in most of the cities where we host meetups. A lot of first-time speakers have started reaching out to us for joining the group. As the InfoSec Girls, how do we contribute? How do we, what do we do? We do host meetups, in-person meetups as part of that. And we reach out to women, students who are interested to pursue cybersecurity as a career or information security as a career choice. Host the in-person meets to give them a platform to connect with each other, bring the professionals together under one roof. Really brilliant ideas that have come from the community. We make sure we embrace the feedback. So sometimes in-person meets are not possible. Like right now, we are all working remote. We are in this pandemic situation, and this is a critical time. But we're all hosting up all virtual meetups via YouTube channel. We live stream almost every other week. Our YouTube channel consists of webinars, podcasts, and we regularly try to get industry experts to guide on various topics. We have InfoSec Girls YouTube channels as well to conduct global meets so that we expose our first time speakers to the industry leaders. There are 80% of the students and professionals who are first time speakers on our platforms, and you can check out our YouTube channel. Not much has been done in educating students about cybersecurity, and I believe there has to be a separate program for bringing up cybersecurity awareness amongst the kids and students. The pros and cons of cyberspace needs to be assimilated deep down into the roots right from the start. This is how we can make a change and our nation cyber safe. One more approach other than the awareness program would be bringing or giving them exposure to unmediated scenarios in the form of games and challenges. This will catch their attention and make them cybersecurity aware and make them brainstorm about importance of cybersecurity or how to use the devices securely and make their data secure. This is how they would use their gadgets in a safe manner. We started bringing cybersecurity to colleges, to students, and giving them opportunities before even moving out of the college. And hence, entire team of InfoSec girls spanning all across India and some parts outside is trying to bridge that gap. We collaborate with international institutes and drive our goals further. This balance in global cybersecurity awareness, after all, we're trying to fill together. We aim to bring diversity and inclusion in the workforce everywhere, bringing students into this field so that they know, okay, this is the field where I want to be. There is a field like cybersecurity that exists. Cybersecurity is all about ideas, and ideas rule the world. Besides, there's a lifelong process. The earlier it starts, the better. And sponsorships and scholarships definitely help. As part of InfoSec Girls, we also provide scholarships for various forums and conferences. We have collaborated with many conferences and companies to provide sponsorships for women and students to attend specific conference. And not just that, the people who cannot afford to be part of the conference or to join any of the trainings. So the rationale is to provide exposure that will support their learning. They can understand how the world works in the real time and what's outside their cocoon. And providing scholarships will catalyze their enthusiasm towards learning things and help stimulate the process of cybersecurity knowledge. And curiosity is mother of everything, which brings different aspects, different perspective about everything. And this field is all about curiosity. We identified that, yes, we needed to upskill people, and we built the training and started delivering at a number of places. And this is how we helped many people with training and workshops. This has been a free and minimum charge for the people, so that people who cannot afford, women students, can be part of these trainings. We've given trainings on cyber threat intel, we've given trainings on network pen testing, application pen testing, and many more different sections. Now, the gap has been identified. Our mission is to bridge that gap and educate more and more people passionate towards cybersecurity by providing them trainings. We started giving these workshops at different cities, colleges, and conferences. We've given many of these at global conferences as well. This link is for our web app pen testing training that we released at Black Hat USA, but I wanted to share here as well. And you can take a look at InfoSec Girls website, which has a lot of content for you, and YouTube channel, which has workshops on secure code review, how to use web app pen testing guide, what it is, what is OWASP Top 10, what is cyber threat intel, how we can implement as part of the SOC, all of this which can be leveraged by you. If there's anything, any questions, please feel free to reach out to me or any of the leaders. You can go to the leader section and take a look at that, reach out to any of us. See, we have talked about trainings, but Capture the Flags also helps in bringing the curiosity in students. So we help students and people around and support them in different CTFs. We've trained and helped students from different universities on Capture the Flags. There's one big gap which the industry is grappling. First, it is struggling to fill the jobs with qualified candidates. And we know that millions of jobs are unfilled in this particular field. The second is the remedies to which will help cure the problem, which is the number one, how to fill the job. Both of these problems are even more acute in cybersecurity sector. There are more than 1 million cybersecurity jobs to be filled, which projected shortage of qualified professionals. Now, in future, when we talk about cybersecurity and diversity in that, it is expected to remain flat till the time we work on that. So to fill those 1 million cybersecurity jobs, the industry must look to cross-train professionals from other disciplines. And here we are, helping people in getting into cybersecurity. So when we started InfoSec Girls, we had an idea that how should we increase the number of people in cybersecurity? And to increase the number, the first step we did started approaching more and more people and started connecting with them who don't have exposure to these communities. We don't have enough active people. We started converting inactive people to active people. Then we started branching out. We started reaching out to colleges. We started reaching out to different forums so that we can let them know that there is something called cybersecurity, which can be imbibed into any of the fields. So what better way to show you the impact by telling the stories from the community or from the ideas and thoughts of the people who have been impacted by InfoSec Girls. Jasmine had stage fear and she came forward and we helped her overcome the stage fear. Kiran learned from other speakers and she has spoken for the first time at InfoSec Girls Meet in Mumbai. Manisha can never forget the warmth and the vibe of the community. Community is there for everyone, irrespective of the age group. Community abridged her to the latest and greatest happenings in the InfoSec. When I talk about Shifa, Shifa has learned from different people in the community and learned from the ideas and nurture from the community. Hina has got a lot of learning and a lot of things from the workshops. Shivani got to know about InfoSec Girls from a friend, and when she joined InfoSec Girls Meet for the first time, she felt warmth and welcomed. Then there was no looking back, and she has been a great volunteer for InfoSec Girls. For a fresher to be part of such a community is an exciting experience in our own words. So what we have achieved so far. We started with 1 chapter. Now we have 15 chapters across India and other parts of the world. We started encouraging the first-time talent. We have 80% first-time speakers. Say overall, 200 speakers that we had so far. We started upskilling people. So the first training started with 20 girls in one class that has grown to 700 participants. And we have trained over 3,000 plus women around the world. We keep it open and accessible to anyone. So the YouTube channel is for anyone and everyone. You can actually watch all the online sessions on YouTube. They're all recorded and there. They're all live streamed and they're kept there. We have trained over 500 school students around cybersecurity and what is cybersecurity for any kid. Why should they be caring about cybersecurity? We host 10 to 15 meets every month because we have so many chapters around. But now at this crucial time, we try and make sure that every 2 weeks we all meet and spread the knowledge. Recently, we won the Program of the Year award at RSA. We've also made sure that we keep spreading the awareness and we keep connecting with colleges so that we can connect with more and more students about it. And united we stand. Whenever any leader who feels that there's something which is missing, we are being there for each other, not just for professional reasons, but for personal reasons as well. We share our experience with each other. We share knowledge with each other. And when we are conducting meets, we're not just there to conduct meets, but we learn from them. And we are all working together. We respect each other. We always think of doing something different. We try and bring different ideas into the picture. The recipe for any strong community is their leaders, the passionate leaders, the compassion behind it. So what we do is, as leaders, we try to be creative. The passion is altogether at a different level. We find new speakers. We make sure we groom the budding speakers, the budding leaders to be part of it. We keep experimenting with the new platforms, new avenues, new venues. And right now we keep checking different streaming platforms and how to give trainings more effectively, how to give sessions more effectively or workshops more effectively. Through this platform, we always intend to get mentors and mentees under one roof. Now, these are some of the leaders around the world we have. And if I finish this talk by not mentioning it, it's not complete. So these are the leaders who keep helping in building this community. We also keep taking community opinions, taking the feedback from the community, what the fresh ideas is, what are the new opportunities that we can have as part of InfoSec Girls, or what are the things that we could be doing, keeping a tab on that feedback. Whatever relevant feedback we receive, we make sure we work on that. We don't just leave it there. We work on that. We make amendments, changes as per the feedbacks. We all have certain questions in our mind. Should I start a community of my own, or should I contribute to an existing community? And why should we start a community? So if you want to start a community, let's start by asking, why would we create a new community if there's no community around? If there's a community around, does it match my goals and vision? If it matches my goals and vision or core values, absolutely, let's join the community. If no, do I have the bandwidth to create and run the community? If yes, let's go ahead and create the community. Let's go for it. However, building the community is a giant effort. So if we start a community, we have to ensure that we continue with it. Rather, there's no point in pushing too hard for it, spending so much time in it. So we started taking baby steps or small steps while building this community a few years ago. And we are to solve the big jigsaw puzzle every coming days. What we did is we created a framework which consists of 4 pillars: building, managing, sustaining, and improving it. Now, while building, we made sure we first name the community, find the venue, plan the meetings, finding the speakers, creating the mailing list, and letting the people know on social media that we have a community coming up. We are working on this community. Once the community is built, how to manage it, partnering with different venue providers, creating having one or more leads or finding the co-leads. Community is not a one-man show or one-woman show. Planning the frequency of those meetups, finalizing the dates, announcing the meets on website, a mailing list, Twitter handles, all the social media handles, most of what code of conduct. It's very, very important. Sustenance is very important. More leads, co-leads, venue related issues, discuss them out, have buddies, ask for help. If you don't ask for help, the community is not going to run. And it's all of our efforts that makes a community. And last but not the least, improving. Keep taking the feedback, improving it, implement the feasible feedback, experiment with different types of format, adapt to the different situations like we have adapted at the moment. Hold the highest standards of integrity in all forms of actions, whatever we do. And community is all about giving back to the community. So these are some of the ethos that community and community members should have. And this is what core values we have defined for ourselves. We should always give back to the community in some form or the other. Community is always inclusive of everyone. And that is right from common college student who is interested in InfoSec or any community to a professional who wants to learn something new. And dedication towards imbibing interest in InfoSec. And that's all about community. We want to make sure as part of the roadmap, we are striving towards a bigger journey. And we have created a roadmap for 10 years. Earlier, we had very shorter goals. Okay, let's strive it for 1 year and see what we can do. Then we had a vision for 2 years, 5 years. Now we are making sure that we have a vision for the upcoming 10 years. More chapters around the world, host free conferences for people, encourage participants of different teams to be part of cybersecurity, focus on educating the underrepresented categories. And that's the future roadmap that we have defined for ourselves. So future roadmap is very important for any community. So the key takeaway is pay it forward. Showcase the different positive differentiation, what you can make to the bigger community. And by making sure that if we are part of the bigger community, we are making sure that security is becoming much more secure. We can partner with multiple organizations to do that. And if we are running a community, it doesn't mean that we cannot collaborate with other communities. We are making a good progress, but we have a long way to go. There's a lot of work that needs to go in, but we still have good wins in our bucket. InfoSec Girls is growing and moving ahead. And we always remember one thing: good, better, best. Never let it rest till good becomes better and better becomes the best. It's a beautiful quote by someone. Now, there's another beautiful quote by Michelle Obama, which we live by every day. Our greatness comes when we appreciate each other's strengths, when we learn from each other, when we lean on each other. So this is what we all do. We help, we request for help, we ask for help, and make sure if there's something which is not going right, we always ask for help. I would like to mention these two special people who have always been helping us, Akash Mahajan and Lubaina, who's always the great pillars in motivating us, helping us with the community. You can reach us anytime on any of the social media handles or email us for any queries, any feedback, or if you wish to join InfoSec Girls. Namaste. Namaste is common greeting gesture to send a message of peaceful spirituality in the form of a thank you. So thank you so much, and looking forward to connecting with you all in person next year.